Mark Cadillo problems established in year 2000.
Nice. Well, welcome, Mark. Appreciate you stopping by, man.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure, man. We gotta have the legend in the building, man.
Oh man,
Got the
a
legendary
lot of
coat
legends,
on.
a lot
Yeah,
of
man.
legends in the Drew.
Not a
I
lot
would
of
have
them.
thought I would have got one of these, but
For sure.
a lot of hard work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we'll just get right into it. What's your favorite Drew League moment over the years?
I don't think this one's like probably the best. Is seeing Kobe at Washington Park, just how everything transpired basically from the crowd line all the way down the street,
Yeah.
all the way down to the pool area. The sheriffs, coming in with horses and the entourage of the police bringing him in, and then him and James going at it, back and forth was crazy. But you can just feel the energy inside the gym. It was just so electric that you had to be there to feel what was going on, to see the guys competing against each other. Was pretty much a one of the greatest memories probably for me,
Yeah.
because I was right underneath the basket and just seeing Kobe do his patented, fade away,
Yeah,
and then
man.
talking to James, just talking trash to him. So I think that was probably one of the best moments, that I can say, for that.
For sure. For sure. Legendary moment, man.
For sure. Rest in peace. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Rest in
You know,
peace to the Mamba.
he definitely he did his thing, man.
Yeah.
To do that in that community and the way he did it, and basically when they wanted to take him out, before the game was even over, and he said no, he wanted to finish the game.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, Kobe-esque game winner. The
Yeah.
buzzer beater. What else do you want?
Storybook ending, man.
Storybook.
You can't write a better story than that.
Heck no.
Show up in the middle of the hood, put
For
on a
sure.
show.
Put on the show.
Oh, I gotta leave. Nah, I'm not leaving. Let me get
No.
this game winner off. Now I'm gonna go home. Yeah, that's
And he didn't even care about the crowd being, like
yeah.
when he hit it and the crowd rushed him, like he was feeling it like it was his own team, just like he really cared,
Yeah.
and didn't like one of those guys that push him away.
Yeah, no.
He actually told like the sheriff's like, oh, just chill, let him,
Yeah, because you can see them trying to pull
yeah,
people off, and he was
pull
like,
him out.
nah.
Oh, no, relax, we're good, and it was fun to see.
Yeah,
Very.
for sure, for sure. And I know you've been coaching for a while. What is your favorite Drew League moment that you participated in or involving your team?
Winning my first championship after 4 times being the Buffalo Bills, of not be able to win one, and winning one finally in '07, and going undefeated, and winning that championship, 17-0, and having Kenny Bruner, Jerry Dupree, Zach Frey, the Frey brothers, Clyde Jordan, Smitty, I mean Lamar Gale, the Black Pearl. I mean, I had two starting fives.
Yeah, so the twins, that's Zach and Zaire, was that
Zach
the
and Jair, yeah.
Yeah, man, I remember that was a mock.
I remember their highlight show when they were
Yeah.
with Gardena Express.
Mm.
Um, Literally, that story will come in shortly, but I that moment in '07, I think I still have some game film of that, and the tears that brought
Yeah.
through all the stuff that we went through as a team, trying to win one together. Um, we had to taste defeat multiple times before we can get to the pinnacle, on top of the mountain, and be that squad.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now that's incredible. So you said your first championship was '07.
'07.
And that's far. So that's
And I
when you
went to the championship my
4 years.
first 4 years,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
had only lost one game almost each year. and then '06 we lost in the semis to Pasadena, and then we lost to '05. Excuse me, in '05 we lost to Pasadena, in '06 we lost to Light 'em Up. So
Okay. Man, now that I think about it, you're one of the few teams that when it's a new team, in recent history, the new team has a rough. You know, I've seen some teams win one game, some of them don't win a game their first year. So to go to the championship first 4 years, drop one game per season, during that time, that's see why you got the jacket on. That's legendary.
yeah, it's a blessing to be able to say that. I went in there in 1999 to scout just because I didn't know what I was going to get myself into,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh my god, like this league is, I I don't have that type of talent, to be able to bring in. Um, then I met a couple guys, and this guy knew this guy, and then
Piece it
the
together.
pieces of puzzle had to basically be created, but it had to be where guys were gonna leave and defect their old teams to be able to build
Yeah,
what we were gonna build.
for sure.
And eventually it got built, and
It was ready to
we
go.
were we were ready to go, and we were running on all cylinders, like literally, like we were smacking teams by 15, 20. It was a highlight show, and I was just blessed to be able to have Bloods and Crips on the same team. Um, a lot of egos,
Hmm.
a lot of, you can say a lot of Chiefs, not enough Indians,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
everybody wanted to be a starter. They wanted all the minutes, and to be able to dictate for those guys to listen
Hmm.
and to be guided, by me was a blessing for them to be able to basically respect. We all had a respectful mutual agreement, like we want to win,
Yeah,
and we're going to win with all whatever it takes.
yeah.
So if I have to take less minutes for that guy to be happy, then that's where it was.
No,
And
that's
that's
right.
what, once everybody bought in, the proof's in the pudding
It
there.
was over with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know in '99 you started scouting, seeing, kind of getting the lay of the land. What initially brought you down to the Drew League? Like, how did you hear about it?
Roderick Shannon from the Blazers.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
he had a player named John Smitty,
Hmm.
Hollywood Smitty, who was actually
Yep.
on the Wall of Fame.
For sure.
Um, I was actually playing in a league at Long Beach Wilson, and I had a all Hispanic team, and Smitty was on another team called Del Rio, but um, Smitty was playing with the Blazers at that time, and I was recruiting Smitty at that Long Beach league, and he wouldn't leave, but I kept bugging, and then finally he's like, "Hey, I got a couple guys, we can go do this Jordan League, and then let's see if if you want to move into this bigger league." And
Mm.
this bigger league is really competition, like it's hard nosed,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'm like, what's the name of the league? And they're like, Drew League, and it's over at the little
At the middle
the
school.
middle school,
Yeah.
and that they were like, it's a little hot box, and
For sure.
and I'm like, hot box, like what's going on here? So finally, I went. It was a night game on a Friday.
Hmm.
Playoffs. It was actually playoffs. Playoffs had just started,
Oh, so
and
it was bumping there.
so went in there, and basically, I was looking, and I was just, but when you've seen all the cars parked,
Hmm.
and then you hearing the noise inside, I'm like, damn, is the arena that big, or is that place snowed? But nah, it was like sardines,
Yes.
and just seeing the competition, the guys going at each other, I was like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, by doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And I had told Roderick, I said, I don't know, man. And Roderick was scared that I was gonna actually do it, and then basically take Smitty and then a couple
Yeah.
guys, and then sure enough, that's basically
Uh,
what happened. But some of the other pieces had to come over to be able to do it. So
so you came and scouted. You kind of got lay of the land. You know, you've been running it up. You know, you got your championships. I think you went back to back.
back to back.
Yep. How does the brand of basketball down at the Drew differ from other leagues and environments that you played in?
I always try to tell people there's no comparison from the Drew League to other leagues
Mm-hmm.
as the aura, the players that come in through that league, the the atmosphere that's in the league, the
Yeah.
family, you know, basically you're like family,
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And compared to other leagues that I feel like there's no you don't feel that vibe, you know. Yeah, you can throw out shell out money, and everybody wants to go in and go do all that. But nothing compares to what when you win at the Drew League,
Yeah.
you're exposed to you're a champion at the Drew League, you're exposed to a whole lot. And a lot of people see that and people gravitate to, oh, that team is fire, or that league is fire. They remember the Drew. They don't remember these other little side little leagues that
Mm-hmm.
are going on.
For sure.
Some of these little leagues that are going on right now are trying to build themselves up, but there's just no comparison to this family owned, league that, yeah, they may not be giving out money. It's okay. But you get a classic banner that you're going to be able to take with you forever, to your grave, knowing that you're going to be cemented as one of the best in the Drew League
History.
that nobody can't take away from you.
Absolutely.
Money is always there. I mean, I played in the battlegrounds at Venice Beach,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, for sure.
that was Nike,
Nike Battlegrounds.
and we won that. And we played at the JBL. I was actually doing co with JBL with Roderick.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't do that. I mean, it's all the same people that we see at the Drew League.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing else to do if the Drew League's not on.
Yeah.
They want to continue balling, but it's not the same,
Yeah.
you know.
For sure.
So, but that's what that is, man.
Yeah. So, how has the Drew like really has the Drew provided you with a platform, or has it helped your brand at all? Like, kind of speak to that.
Oh man, I mean, I don't have a Instagram problems account,
Right, right.
or whatever, but my name attached to it, I
Mm-hmm.
put problems Mac, and I put stuff out there. But me with the caliber of players that I have that has come through my program, and basically just us doing what we did through decades, has really, like, people know, like, people will see me at work, um and I don't know if they have, they may have been, because I work for BMW,
Mm-hmm.
and some of these people, oh, you're the coach from the Drew League, and
Yeah.
from problems, right? And I'm like, yeah, and they go, I didn't know
That's
you worked for
fire.
BMW,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or whatever. And it's kind of, it feels
Mm-hmm.
good,
Yeah.
to be acknowledged by somebody that actually is paying attention,
Get that
you know,
recognition.
get that
Yeah.
recognition, you know.
That's important.
So it does give you some type of platform, and when people outside the box, like, they see, because my car has my problems license plate on it,
Fire.
and everybody's like, what is that about, and I'm like, everybody think, are you a problem, or is the car a problem? Like, no, I said, it's I have a basketball team, and I have a soccer team too, that's problems, but problems basketball established who I am,
Yeah.
and what we are, and people want to come play for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys got one of the best, taglines or nicknames. George is the best with that. So the Evil Empire is legendary, legend, especially for y'all.
Yes, that name, that he that man comes out with stuff that just hits you.
Yeah.
And he hit us with that, and everybody gravitated off it. And basically, he basically knew why he called it. And we both knew at the same time, we're like, he goes, Mark, everybody hates y'all. And the reason they hate y'all is because you bring in the best.
Mm.
You have the best. And you always recruit well. People hate that. They like they see your team and they're wondering, how does he get those? Are they is he paying them or whatever? But every year I get better. I get better.
Yep.
I get better. And they just, other teams are trying to be like, we we want them. Like we have that bullseye,
Yeah.
and
You get everybody best swing.
we just that name was cold. Like
Yeah.
and to this day we still use it.
As you should. As you should. That's legendary right
Mhm.
there. So you talked about, when your team and some of your players, when you're recruiting players or looking to add players to your team, what kind of qualities or skill sets do you look for?
One, is loyalty.
It's big.
Because you see people, you just don't want a player to play one season and then they go to another team or they're hopping teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like be loyal to what you're gonna commit to. If you're gonna commit here, commit for a couple years, see how it goes. You gotta
Yep.
go through the ups, you gotta go through the downs. But majority of our squad with our team is always in the up. We've hit the last few years, we've hit a little bit of a downfall because players just they leave. They have to go overseas.
That's a tough
So
part.
that hurts,
Yeah,
especially when you have a good team that can compete for a championship, people go. But the loyalty stands like with guys like how I am, how I'm going to treat you, how I'm going to take care of you, not only as a player but guide you in life, and be there for you when basketball is not there.
for sure.
When you have a coach that actually cares, not only because he wants you to play on his team, no, we're family. Regardless of the color of what we
Mm-hmm.
are, we're family. You're playing for a brand that's here that's known for family, known for grit, and known for passion of playing the game.
Mm,
And basically, that's all I ask. Loyalty is a big to me,
absolutely.
because I've been through the stabs in the backs,
For sure.
the
For
all
sure.
all the stuff and that can dismantle a team because one bad apple can turn out to be a whole fort.
Yep.
You know.
No, that's real. That's real. No, and those are all good qualities you need, not just in your teammates, but just in people. So that's a good insight and good measure of character.
Well, yeah, because some of these guys didn't have the father figure person.
Mm-hmm.
The person to be able to go talk to outside of basketball, talk
Yeah.
about life, talk about the struggles,
Yeah.
how do you do it, coach? Hey, I see something in you, but are you going through something you need something, we need to talk, because living in the hood, man, back in the past, the jobs weren't great, you know,
Yeah.
people were struggling, and I used to take care of players with gas money, whatever that, if they needed food, whatever I had, I would give if I had it,
Yeah.
and I know the importance of that, and taking care of your kids and this, that, and the other. I would never chastise anybody. If I got it, you got it. That's how basically how we made it and made it to be. And I think that was the gravitation of my players that would always have my back and basically say like they would never let anybody disrespect me or
Yep.
talk trash about me because they know what type of loyalty I had for my guys, even if some did backstab me,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm that one that forgave, and but never forgot, you know what I
For
mean? But
sure. For
at the
sure.
end of the day, you know, we kept it pushing, you
Yep.
know?
No, that's real. So, speak a little bit about the importance of that jacket you got on right
Oh man.
now.
Oh man. I mean, looking through I think I did a post last year. I was actually evaluating, my 25 years of being in the Drew League and I think Casper is the only one that's above me because he's been in the league longer.
Yeah.
He's probably got more wins than I do, but I'm I'm right behind. I'm second to all the coaches through
Mm.
all the people that've been in the Drew League of most wins. Because I was averaging 11 to 12 wins a year, a
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
And we were barely losing maybe one or two games. And my team through all the way through 2013, we either played in the championship or we were in the final four. And I think I did two quarterfinals
Mm.
through those years. Um, and I had, I think when I posted, I had 188 wins, only 32 losses, two
Ooh.
championships, um, one undefeated, and then I had a 26 game winning streak
Mm.
that was matched by Games team.
Oh yeah, yeah. With
I forgot what they were called when they won their championship.
was it Public Enemy?
No, it was the other one.
Birdie's Revenge.
Birdie's Revenge.
That was that was one of the coldest names too.
Yeah, that was. And we were the two top teams at that time going going at it going in the division when they got that 26 game winning streak.
Mm.
Um and we actually beat them, but the guy stepped out of bounds. We even have a video of the kid stepping out of bounds and he hit the shot and they disallowed it, and
Mm.
then Game and them rushed the refs, and then they basically, I don't know if they got scared because they didn't want a commotion,
Yeah.
because both teams were undefeated. We were both undefeated,
Ooh.
and they overturned the call, and that basically won them the game. But it was literally somebody had the video and a photo of the guy with his heel on the black line.
Mm.
At Yeah, so
That's tough.
yeah, it's tough, but it's okay. I mean, they were Mitty and them were strong, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they were strong, but
Yeah, they've been
just
on a run.
posting. I had a coach of the year. Oh man, I've coached a lot of great players.
Uh-huh.
I was telling my wife, like, what did you do? Like, how did you do this? I don't even know. To this day, I'm still like wondering, like, how did these guys come to me? Like, but God is good.
So
God had a plan, and to be, Latino, you know, and be able to stride this and not didn't play basketball, my life or
yeah.
anything like that. I was a baseball player. I was born in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. My
Oh,
dad
okay.
was in the military.
Yeah.
We moved down here, and I just, it just happened, and I was blessed to be able to get guys like Kenny Bruner, the Phrase,
Yeah.
Gator. Mark Neal was the focal point of our whole team. Him and Chris Blanton.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I, I'm happy. I'm proud. There's nobody that's going to be able to take away anything,
Yeah, man.
of my accomplishments that I have, in my past. So
Yeah, I mean that's a Hall of Fame career you just rattled off right there. So well deserved.
definitely, I appreciate it.
Well deserved. So just a little bit, if you can, speak a little bit about, your preparation, for the Drew on a week to week, and then also, the recovery of some of your players and the importance of it.
Week to week, I mean, it was always, depending on the teams that we were playing,
Mm.
you always had your top three teams that you knew you had to make sure your team was ready.
Yeah.
Like back in the days was Cheaters, Pasadena, um, and there was another team, and Rock's team, I can.
Oh yeah, I can use it.
And you had to be ready.
Yeah.
And then once the year started going, guys don't like nowadays. They don't like to practice, you know, because some of these guys are coming from overseas, so they're already tired.
Yeah.
They want to spend time with their families.
Yeah.
They don't have that much time before they have to go overseas again. So they want to go out and do what they want to go do and travel, spend time with their families, go out amusement parks, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have, we would have a at least maybe a practice during the week for about 2 hours, and
Yeah.
just at least we all can collab with each other and be ready for the whoever we're gonna play.
Exactly. Yeah. That
Um,
makes sense.
and I would prepare. I used to be a oh my god a OCD. I used to be at the Drew almost every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from game one all the way to the very end.
Mm.
And just I had a
Snap.
little notepad, and I would just write down certain tendencies of what certain guys would do, or just what their team would do if they're going to press, and
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. And I would just let my team know, during the week, hey, this is what these guys are going to do. This is their best player. You know, we're going to have our guy, whoever I had assigned to that person,
Mm-hmm.
and we would just do us. There was not too much I had to say to my team other than just let's be ready when we get to the gym, you know,
Yeah.
have your swag, be ready to go.
Yep.
And people always waited till when we got there because they knew we had a running gun show. It was just showtime. Like
Yeah, for sure.
it
For
was just
sure.
something that you wanted to see. Even if it was a sorry team, people would come out. And recovery time for guys, I mean, these guys were professionals. There was really nothing I needed to tell these guys
Yeah.
what to do because they knew how to take care of their own bodies. Um, because they know it's a grind for them for 7 or 8 months that they're gone throughout the year.
Yeah.
So they knew what they needed to do to recover and make sure that they're good before, they play or
Absolutely.
after. So
Yeah. I heard you say that you were born down in North Carolina. Um, what age or did you move out here?
I was 8
Okay.
when we moved down here, and when I actually moved down here, I ended up having cancer. So I had 7 operations, all kind of stuff.
Wow.
So they removed spleen. So I didn't know what my life was gonna be, because I was going through chemo, radiation. So didn't know if I was gonna be athletic,
Yeah.
because of all that stuff. But I ended up being a really, really talented baseball player. But at that time, we were going through, racial, people,
Yeah.
and depending on the school, I went to Milliken High School, and um, coach and staff had a different out view of what he wanted on his team. And I was a very talented ball player around our area, and people knew who I was. And I was representing, the district of Bellflower and Long Beach. And yeah, for my short size, you would think that guy can't be, but I was a really great with the bat. I was a power bat. I
Mm-hmm.
played third or shortstop. I had a really good arm. But I just my mom didn't really believe in the sports,
Yeah.
and I didn't have that that family person to be able to advocate for me and say, I want to push you, push your dreams, because my mom was working 2 jobs. So I really couldn't, donate stuff to like the alumni, I mean to the school, or
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? So I think that kind of hurt me, but at the end of the day, my life, I wouldn't change anything in the world to
Yeah.
to be able to know what I've done and the people I've touched, and the people that have been in my life as basketball players and or soccer players, whatever it may be. I'm happy.
For sure.
So, and the Drew put that, like, I can represent it, with pride,
Mm-hmm.
and know, like, people are like, oh, you you're a fan? No, I'm a coach. I'm a 25 years. Oh my God, like, damn, that's a long time.
Yeah, man. That's a lifetime
Oh,
right
that's a
there.
long time.
For sure. For sure. Um, just to get away from basketball just a little bit, you've been out here since you were 8. I live in Virginia. So picture me as your out of town nephew.
Tobacco Road, baby.
Right. What's the best food spots out here?
Out here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, you can't go wrong with Roscoe's, but I think it's kind of watered down now. You
For
know what I
sure,
mean?
yeah.
But Um, the taco spots, you can't go wrong with the taco
No, you
spots,
cannot, man.
but what's crazy too is the Drooly with the food, the sliders and the taco lady coming,
Yep.
it's just like, and then now they have these, these little vendor trucks coming in,
Yep.
they have the wings, and stuff like that.
It's popping at the Drew now.
Popping, man.
Yep.
It's like, you don't need your McDonald's or your Chick-fil-A. Like when you got stuff like this, these guys are actually like honing into their craft of making food and
Exactly.
delicious ingredients in the
Mm-hmm.
food that they're making. I mean look at me, I'm fat for a reason, right? I mean I like to eat, but it's just like, damn. But there's really no, I'm not one of those guys that I'm picky, but I do love my Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm gonna go to a nice restaurant or whatever, I'm probably Javier's or
Okay.
Mastro's or something.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
they have some and Ruth's Chris. Ruth's Chris got a fire stuffed chicken, man, and their cheesecake is crazy.
For sure.
So but
Okay.
you gotta
Okay.
treat yourself to that.
Got to. And then just to kind of hop back into basketball a little bit, we're in the middle of the playoffs. Any predictions? Who coming out the East or the West?
In the East, I got Boston.
Okay.
Even though I think Cleveland's gonna give them a little bit of a run in the Eastern Conference Finals. But Indiana is another creeper team that I'm thinking of, but I think Boston is definitely going to come out the East.
Yeah.
As far as the West, man, mm, now that Jimmy's down, because I was actually going to go for the
Yeah,
Warriors.
same here, man. That changes a
So
lot.
I was actually going to go for the Warriors, but I don't know if Jimmy's going to come back the way he needs to come back. So I'm going to say OKC.
Okay.
I'm going to
Okay.
say OKC.
For some reason, I still feel like OKC a little too young.
I do too, and I really think that they need one more player with SGA next year if they can trade some of their assets
Yeah.
and maybe go get KD. You know what I mean? But I think
That'd
KD
be
might go to
tough.
Dallas.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
That would be that works
yeah,
really well.
it
They got
will.
the bigs. You
It
got,
will
Kyrie will be back. I don't know how effective, he
right,
may be, but I mean, you add a KD on that team.
for sure.
That's
And if
that's
if they
tough to
can't,
deal with.
if OKC can't pull KD over there, they need to either get Booker, um,
Mm,
because I think Phoenix needs to just blow up the whole
they do.
thing up.
They do.
You know, um, but there's like something tells me that that Jokic is gonna pull probably one of the greatest things probably ever for Laker Nation to say
Okay.
I don't want to play for Denver anymore. I don't want to.
Man,
You need to trade me, and I'm only gonna go to there because he wants to play
play
with
with
Luca.
Luka. If we get that, that's like the Euro Kobe and Shaq.
Oh yeah, it's done. Like that would be like the most
Yeah,
craziest thing ever, and I think it's probably gonna happen. But we'll have to see what next year comes. But I think KD is gonna go to Dallas. I really feel that one with Kyrie.
make sure we get this date down. If KD end up in Dallas, we coming back to this. Like, man, Mark had the crystal ball.
Hey man, we'll see, we'll see. But that's what I feel like Dallas. I think Dallas has something up their sleeve. So, Nico's definitely trying to make sure he gets his payback for that trade.
Absolutely.
So,
For sure, for sure. And then last but not least, predictions for you this year in the Drew with the problems.
if all my players stay, like if nobody has to leave, um, having Deshaun, Bruce Massey, um, Tone, Lon, Shannon, but
Hmm.
Braden Burris. Braden Burris is a beast, and
Yeah.
he just committed to Arizona,
Okay.
and he's one of the number one high school recruits coming out of. He just won CIF
That
and he won state,
that's what we need, man. Bring the young guys in.
and he is a special talent of the kid,
That's dope.
and very humble. But I would predict if everybody's here, we will be in the championship game. Don't know against who, because and I really don't care against who.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know if my team is here, I know I can beat anybody
Yeah.
any given day, bar none. We're not scared of nobody. We'll go head to head with your best, and that's even you, Frank. No,
For sure.
because Frank's always got great team.
Frank got a mob every year.
Got a mob, man, and Black Pearl's got a great team.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to
They've been
Lamar.
a up and coming team lately, and cheaters, Mecca cheaters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but when you have a Demar,
Yeah.
come on, man,
That's the cheat code.
that's the cheat code.
Yeah, for sure,
You
for
gotta-
sure.
But I was really happy for him
Yeah.
because I know he's been in the league, he's tried, and he's failed
He's been in
multiple
it a couple
times.
times. Yeah,
Yeah,
the championship.
and
Yeah, so
LA Unified has beaten him when he was with Nick.
yep.
And
That was the one. I remember that one.
yeah.
Yep.
So but other than that, man, if I'm in it, I'm always. I'm not just coming in to pay my money and just to be at the Drew. I'm coming in there because I want a banner.
Yep.
That's my mission. I want to get my third, and I want to get it there at King Drew because I will solidify all parks, the the
Middle
small
school.
Drew,
Yep.
Washington, and King Drew, which nobody has.
Mm.
Nobody has all three parks.
That's heavy. That's heavy
And
right
a lot of
there.
people don't know that.
Yeah.
I
You just hit
and
me to that.
and they're like, oh damn, that really like nobody hasn't done that,
Yeah.
So um and I feel like whatever I put my mindset to and me rah and my guys, like I said, I can't control those other, those overseas coaches that hey, you gotta come,
Yeah.
but I know my guys want to stay
Mm-hmm.
and they would do anything to stay to play in the championship game or playoffs, but at the end of the day, don't don't count us out. That's all. And I know people like they probably like, oh, Problems hasn't been, like this, but me, I'm always hungry.
Yeah.
I'm always looking to see what I can do to get my team to get to that upper echelon again, to the top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna keep finding whatever I need to do to get there. And I'll get there
For
because I'm
sure.
very motivated,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always, even when the season ends, it only takes me a couple weeks to start rolling. Call them up. What do you think we need to do? What
Yeah.
like what
Get right back to it.
get right back to it. What do we need?
Yeah.
What, and everybody always says the same thing. We just need our team there. We got an awesome team. Like
Yeah.
we got the bigs, we got the wings, we got the guards, we got everything.
Yeah.
But it just, if you don't have your pieces there,
It's
it
tough.
ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work. That's why they say no excuse, just produce, because it doesn't matter if you have your team there or not. You can't make an excuse and say,
Yeah.
my guys weren't there. We have to play with what we got.
That's very true.
You know?
That's very true. Well, Mark of the Evil Empire, the Problems. We
Yes, sir.
appreciate you, man. Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
No doubt, man. Thank you. Let's
Appreciate
go.
you, dog.
Yes, sir.